Well, aloha, everyone. Aloha kakahiaka. I'm Peter K, and today is May 10th, 2024, and you are with us live on the Aloha Friday Hawaii Real Estate Show. Now, if you're not live, it means that you're watching us on YouTube or on the Facebook recorded. There's probably chapters you can click through on the bottom that will take you right to where you want to go. But we are really glad that you are all here, as I am very glad that my friends are all here. We have Ashley Wasson from Oahu, we have Dylan Nonaka from the Big Island, and we have Heidi Dellinger from Maui. And right now we're going to go through a little bit of a, let me do a real quick, let me give you a quick idea of the lineup to show you what we got planned for you today. So e komo mai means welcome to our little humble abode. And we're going to go through we got some Hawaii news after we we're going to warm up the microphones, going to do some Hawaii news. I found some interesting stories that I think that you're going to like. We got market updates for each of the main islands, Oahu, Big Island, and Maui. And we're going to go through some questions. We got some questions that have been submitted from you, and we're going to be going through those. And we're going to, the audience is the most important part. So we're going to be interacting with you folks. And then we're going to go through some diamonds and deals, show you some properties that we think are really, really cool, and end with some motivational thoughts. All right. So with that, let's do the warm up. We got to get the microphones warmed up and get the folks a chance to kind of come on in. By the way, there's a few folks who are with us already. Say hello. Let us know where you're from. We want to know that you're here. Why don't we do this? Let's go clockwise with Ashley first. Ashley, you were the first one on this morning. How's it going over there? Nice, bright. After last night's heavy, I don't know how the rains were on your end, but we had torrential rains last night for a while. How are you doing?
I missed it. I usually like to sleep with my doors open, and my other half likes the AC. And we just got the AC fixed again. So I slept through all of it, and I woke up to just a wet, soaking house because I left all my windows open. But it was a great night's sleep. I'm really looking forward to all this rain that we have coming up in the next week. I know that sounds odd, but I love a good solid rainstorm. I'm a little worried about the flooding. I have a pool and I live on the canal. And when you have those two sandwiched between each other, that's always makes me triple check my flood insurance. But I'm happy with the weather we have today.
Yeah, right now it's sunny over here, but there are some clouds coming. It was kind of weird. We did see the flood. There's a flood advisory, etc. And last night I think, oh, there's the flood advisory. Hey, Alex is with us. Alex is a member of the Honor Ohana. Alex, welcome, Alex. Happy aloha, everyone. Happy Friday. And Alex is hails us from Texas. Thanks, Alex, for letting us know about that. And Steve is back with us. Hey, Steve, how's it going, buddy? Good to see you. He is back here from Salt Lake City, Utah. Awesome. And Tom has joined us. Tom is my favorite. Tom, you are my favorite because you're from the UK. That's so darn cool. Aloha, everyone from a finally warm UK. I'm glad it's warm out there. It's about a 12-hour time difference, which is really kind of cool. So thanks, Tom. We're really glad that you're here. And speaking of people that I'm glad that are here, Dylan, I'm glad that you're here. Give us the update. What's happening give us the Aloha shirt update. We almost have the same color over there, almost. What's happening, Dylan?
I actually forgot. I should have. Ashley saw it. Ashley and I were hanging out last couple of days at a conference that we put on in Oahu, and it was awesome. A couple of days of great information, good motivation, and we debuted I talked about it the last show, and then I forgot to put it on this morning. But we debuted our Team Aloha shirt. So we have our team logo incorporated into an Aloha shirt. So the designer of these shirts, Living Hula, made a custom design and run for us. So one of these days, I guess next week, I'm gonna have to put it on my calendar to make sure I wear the right shirt. Like, they're not clean, so I was gonna wear a dirty shirt because I just got back last night. But anyways, you wouldn't have known because we're not together. So
no one would know about you. That's what's great. That's what I love about online Zoom calls and everything. You can wear the same shirt again for a guy. It's like a godsend, right? Because you could keep wearing the same shirt forever, no matter how bad it stinks, and no one's gonna know. And you're saved from doing laundry. It's the best. It is.
The shirts were so nice. His whole team was wearing them, and they're black with gold, which is just the perfect color scheme. I love them. Great design.
Hey, want to see it. Hey, thanks, Alex. Nice comment. Everyone looks great. Yeah, we're living the dream, dude. We're living the dream. That's why you can't help. And speaking of living the dream, Heidi is living the dream from Maui. Heidi, what's the coffee? What's going on? You got a new little background over there. What's happening, Heidi?
Well, the only difference is I came out of the closet office area and came into the living room. But
Heidi's out of the closet. She's out of the closet. All right, Heidi.
I'm enjoying my Kanapali coffee today. Best way to start the day. I've also been making papaya ginger smoothies this morning, which is one of my favorite smoothie recipes. I had a photo shoot at a new listing, and part of the staging was this like huge fruit bowl, and now I have all these papayas, so I have to do something with them. So I think I'm gonna make a whole bunch of smoothies.
So
But
what are the ingredients, Heidi, that you throw in? You got obviously papayas. What else? What else goes into the blender? I'm just curious.
banana, papaya, a little bit of cinnamon, fresh grated ginger, and then some plain yogurt, and that's it.
Any juice, or I guess it's the papaya gives you the juice and the sweetness. So usually you have to throw a little bit of apple juice or some kind of a juice in there, or no, the papaya does it.
I don't put any juice in it. If it's too thick, I just put in a little water, but that's it. So
Awesome.
yeah, delicious.
Awesome. Yeah. That's a great combo. Bananas and yogurt. Those were like two of my key like staple ingredients that have got to go into a smoothie. So I am with you on that one. And Alex, hey, Alex is with us. Welcome back, Alex. Alex Martin. Aloha, everyone. I missed the last few episodes because I forgot to set the alerts. But now you got it, and you're here. The alert works, Alex. The alert works. Glad that you're here. All right. Hey, why don't we go through some news? I found a few stories that I think you folks might like. Let's take a look at those. This one. Okay. Hey, first time, I'm in Heidi. I want to kind of hear what your thoughts are about this, but fire hurricane season, there's a bunch of stories about this. And I'm kind of wondering if there's like, I wonder if we're going to be experiencing a, kind of a, Lahaina fire PTSD, because there's going to be a whole bunch of wildfire season is going to be coming into since last year. So it's going to be interesting. There's a bunch of stories going on. Now, it's kind of strange. There's some conflicting stories. On one hand, forecasters are saying it's going to be a high risk year for significant fires. On the other hand, there's a story that's telling us that hurricane season, which is starting in June 1st, they're predicting a relatively quiet season for tropical cyclones in the Central Pacific Basin. So I'm kind of wondering how those two are conflicting. And, first responders on all the islands are kind of changing their plans around. They're altering their operations. They're assuming that the power is going to be going out more than it normally does. And that's going to probably because Hawaiian Electric now is going to, because they got sued so badly, I think they're going to be playing it very, very cautiously. And when there's going to be high winds or any kind of a chance of electrical fires, they're going to shut down the power. So it's going to be a very interesting world. And I hope we're going to go through it well. Short-term rental changes. We've been talking about this a lot. They are coming. Bills have been signed into law. The big one is the vacation rental bill, which is going to allow individual islands, the counties, to regulate short-term vacation rentals as they see fit. And right on cue, the Maui mayor is making he put out a bill that would phase out 2,200 vacation rentals in West Maui, and eventually all 7,000 units across Maui. Honolulu is doing its own thing. They're also struggling with combating illegal rentals. There's a lot going to be on about this, folks. This is not going to be the last word you're going to hear about this. It's going to be coming on. Monk seal babies. How can there's another great story. The monk seal is back, and she had another baby. So we have baby pictures. I found a couple of baby pictures online from Eric Habik on Instagram. Check him out. There's one with Mama, and I thought there was two really cute photos here. This one is Mama and the newborn baby, and of course, like any good mom, she's yelling at the kid. A few hours into his birth. I don't know if it's a him or her. A few hours into their birth, Mama's yelling at the cub. That's how you know. That's how you know that it's a mom. She's yelling at the kids just a few years after. So a few moments after birth. So there you go. Interesting. I found an interesting story about a lawsuit that is some visitors. Sad to say, they came on a 10-hour flight, landed in Honolulu. They've been here before a bunch of times. Dad goes snorkeling, apparently accomplished swimmer, accomplished snorkeler, passes away. And they don't know what it is exactly, but they think it's because some kind of a thing occurs when you fly for a very, very long time. There's an increased risk of something going on with your lungs, and it kind of screws things up. It's still a mystery, but they're suing. So it's going to be interesting, kind of see how this case goes. I thought it was interesting that they're suing because they weren't warned that a long flights followed by snorkeling can be dangerous. I don't know if anyone knew that, but they're suing anyway. So
Scuba diving, but not snorkeling.
it's strange, right? I don't know, but it's going to be a strange thing. So anyway, hey, so for on the political fronts, we try not to talk about politics here because it's so much not fun. But Robert F. Kennedy Jr. did win ballot access in Hawaii, so he will be on the ballot for the presidential race. And the Hawaii Democratic Party has indicated they will not be fighting. They will not be appealing the decision. So I'm going to say that's a good thing, I suppose. And finally, the state of Hawaii is following our lead. If you look in the upper corner over there, right there, you'll see the little logo, the Shaka logo. Yes, I can't say we started the Shaka logo, but we've got a Shaka logo, right? But the Shaka is now the official state gesture. It's the official state gesture now. Official state gesture? No, official state gesture is the Shaka symbol. So that's kind of cool. So hey, so that's my take on kind of what's going on. Why don't we let's get a roundup from you folks on what's happening. Give us a market update. Tell us what's happening in your markets. Tell us any kind of news you'd like to think. Heidi, I'm kind of curious. Why don't we go counterclockwise? Let's go around the bend the other way with Heidi, then Dylan, and then Ashley. Heidi, I'm kind of curious about, I'm wondering what it's going to be like this upcoming summer in Maui on the Lahaina side. PTSD of the fires and things of that nature. I hope it's going to be very interesting. Anyway, so what's up, Heidi? Give us the update. What are you thinking?
I think everybody on Maui is probably experiencing PTSD from the fires. And a couple weeks ago when the power went out, I heard people were like running an Ace Hardware and like freaking out. And I'm sure like I have PTSD from just, everything that happened. So yeah, when it's raining, it feels safe and happy for right now. A little bit nervous about other fires. It's definitely made me always think about where I am and routes to escape and what I would do. It's just, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, for sure. How about the market, Heidi? What's happening, or anything else you want to talk about on Maui? Give us the update. Give us the market update. Give us anything else you want to bring up as well.
Yeah, well, the big thing on Maui is last Friday, the mayor announced this proposal to phase out vacation rentals in all apartment zoned areas on Maui, which is pretty significant, potentially impacting over 7,000 units, 2,200 in West Maui. There has just been so much political pressure to do something. There's the fishing for housing. People have been camping on Kaanapali Beach for almost 6 months now, like right in front of the hotels and restaurants on Kaanapali Beach. And their mission is, we are going to stay here until you get rid of short-term rentals. So now, because of this proposal, they're now deoccupying Kaanapali Beach and moving on. I'm sure the hotels are very happy about this because also if there's less vacation rentals, that's less competition for the hotels. But owners of vacation rentals in apartment zoned areas that have been legal vacation rentals for 40, 50 years. That's why these properties were built. Of course, they're a little nervous. There's a lot of uncertainty. Now, this is a proposal. It still needs to go to the planning commissions. It still needs to pass county council. There's no doubt going to be opposition to this. And hugely political topic. Of course, as a resident of West Maui, I know how important, we do need more housing, but it's also not really sure if providing this housing and, aging buildings that are quite expensive to live in right on the ocean and cost thousands of dollars a month just to maintain, don't have parking, don't have storage. Is this going to be the solution here. So anyway, that's the big hot topic. I won't keep rambling on because I know there's
No,
other
that's a good one. I mean, that's a big deal. There's going to be a lot going on. Yeah, I'm sorry, but go ahead. Yeah, keep going. Give us the rest of your update, Heidi.
Oh, okay. Well, I mean, just if you want to hear some real estate statistics on Maui, because I know last show I kind of got cut off, but year to date, there are more sales happening on Maui than there were in 2023. Number of homes sold is up 11.8%, 8.8% more condos are selling. Median price of a home on Maui is at 1.3 million, up 13.5% compared to last year. Median sale price of a condominium is at 865, up 6.9% compared to last year. You know, our market, there's lots of different parts of the market. So there's overall the market's quite strong, but there are certain parts of the market that are definitely weaker right now. So I would say, you know, if you're looking to get into this market, definitely consult with a realtor who's attuned with the market, because I mean, if you're looking at a general statistic for the whole island, that's not necessarily the whole picture of, you know, any particular micro market.
Thanks, Heidi. That was a great update. Before we move on, I'm going to give a shout out to some folks who are commenting. By the way, if you're with us, hey, join the conversation. Let us know what you think about what you're hearing and questions that you've got. First, I want to say hi to Michael Lotta. Welcome back, Michael. Aloha from Ko'olina. We're here for vacation. All right, going to a few open houses, dreaming of the time we can live here. Yeah, well, Michael, you gotta dream to make. First, you must dream, then you can make it real. That's many of the world's esoteric belief systems kind of hold that to be true. So good luck on your hunt, and hoping you're having a good time. Auntie Joan is back with us. Welcome back, Joan. Aloha, everyone. Joan, really glad that you're back with us here. It's been fantastic. Great to have you here with us. Tim Kim says, hey, I've been watching some of the town hall meetings around Oahu, and it sounds like every town is now worried their town is going to burn down. There's a lot of PTSD, dude. A lot of PTSD. I mean, I can't imagine how strong it's got to be in Maui. You know, Heidi, when you mentioned just the mere fact of the power going out right away kind of, you know, makes you think about all kinds of things. I can't really, frankly, I cannot imagine what that's got to be like to kind of to go through those issues. But yeah, I mean, the people are, you know, understandably afraid. We saw what happened, and we're still going through it. I mean, we're nowhere near. It's still, there's all kinds of issues about it. It's the big thing. So yeah, thanks for that comment. And then finally, Bob Carlsbeck. Hey, Bob, welcome. Aloha from Hawaii Kai Peninsula. Saw the mom and pup monk seals just east of the natatorium yesterday. Cool. They were lounging in front of the Kaimana Beach Hotel. Yeah, that's their spot. They have, to use today's modern parlance, they have occupied. The monk seals have occupied Kaimana Beach Hotel, and therefore we are not going anywhere near it. But it's kind of fun. I remember one time that we had Bob, we had one time my wife and I, there is a restaurant very, very near there, and we're, and it's like this one of these open air restaurants where it's right on the water, right on the beach, and it's open, no windows or anything. And all of a sudden, as we're having our dinner, we see a bunch of people walking up to the open area at the front of the restaurant, and they're looking out over the beach, and there's all kinds of people like, what the hell's the commotion? Well, I walk out there, and guess what? The monk seals. The monk seals were the big hit of the big show. So that was kind of fun. So glad you saw the monk seals. Dylan, it's your turn to give us the update. What's happening on the Big Island, news, issues, market, etc. By the way, really quick, Heidi, I mean that Maui's market is coming back really, really strong. And obviously the whole disruption due to the fires are part of it, but it's pretty good. There's some darn strong numbers. Dylan, Big Island, give us the update.
We're seeing the same thing on the Big Island. April was the first month that we did over 400 sales since August of last year. So we were under 400 sales, which is historically under the average, usually between 400 and 500 sales per month. Pre-COVID, I mean, post-COVID, it got a lot higher than that, but definitely feels that way. The market's picking up. There isn't an increase in inventory. It's like a broken record. We're still under 2,000 units, which is historically very, very, very low. Normally, we're between like 35 and 4,500 units on the market. So, not surprisingly, median price is considerably up this across the board: homes, condos, and land sales. So overall, like we've been talking about, the advantage in the last like 12 months was really the suppressed buyer demand, which is starting to go away. And even though interest rates are like higher now than they've been in a while, I mean, most programs are seeing like above 7% interest rates. Buyers are coming back and activity's picking up. So I think we're starting to accept that this is kind of the new norm. And if you need to buy a house, you need to buy a house, and you're going to buy a house regardless of what the interest rates are, and people are figuring it out. But yeah, definitely seeing increased market activity over here too.
I think, like you said, there's a lot. Well, I can, the empirical information I got is my very own daughter. She's like, okay, I got to buy. She's been looking to buy a house now for a long time. She's like, okay, I'm doing it. Interest rates ain't going down. I thought they were. It's not going to happen. I got to buy because the prices keep going up. I got to get into the market. I got to do it now. I'm ready. And then she's on the hunt. She's on the hunt for a house. And I would think that typifies, I would think, what a lot of people are come to accept. Market rates ain't going down anytime soon. And if you're going to do it, you better do it now. And I'm still, I never cease to be amazed by how strong the Hawaii market is. It just blows me away. I mean, we've gone through now several little dips. We had the COVID dip, and we had this last dip, and it was just literally a dip. It's like it slows down a little bit, then bam, takes right back off again. It's really something else. Ashley, what's the update from the Big On? I'm from the Big On. What's the update from Oahu? Oh, wow, I should know better. What's happening, Ashley?
Well, pretty similar, pretty parallel. The median sales price is still at about 1.1 million. And then the condos are 528,000. The single family homes for April ended at 262, which is 26% more year over year from 2023. And 431 condo sales, which is only up 2.6% from last year. But there's some pretty interesting, statistics that I wanted to share with you guys. It's interesting because despite like that monumental influx in sales and prices staying stable, the average days on market is less for single family homes. There's multiple offers again, and for condos, it's significantly higher. The houses for 1.1 million and above surged 50% in sales. So I thought that was really interesting. And condos that were over 600,000 went up in sales 23% from last year, but the lower price ranges from 300,000 to 400,000 decreased by 35%. And I thought that was really fascinating. Last year,
do you want to guess just a wild guess as to what's going on? It almost sounds like the low end of the market is getting smaller because of affordability for that class of that economic class of folks, but the rich, in other words, the rich folks are buying.
Get richer and the poor get poorer. And this is exactly what we try to do in education with especially local families, is getting your foot in the door as quickly as possible, because that gap is only going to get larger. And, unfortunately, I learned this early on that economics doesn't care about demographics. People who are going to become financially savvy and constantly work on their financial literacy are only going to get ahead. And that even though these lower price point homes, are available, and I'm seeing more of them, it's a decrease. And that has to be that the consumer is lacking the affordability and or the scarcity mindset to go after them. I'm not quite sure. This is obviously speculation, but it seems to make sense.
Man, if that was almost like a pre-recorded message. That came out so perfectly. That was like you were ready for that one. Awesome.
I also thought it was interesting that last year in 2023, 25% of the condos in the houses sold at the original asking price. And then 1/3 of the single family homes closed above the original asking price. So sorry, last year, 25% closed above the original asking price. And now this year, 1/3. So we're seeing more people go higher above the asking price. And we did see an increase in inventory from last year, but it's still not enough. We're still lacking inventory, which is obviously keeping this market pretty stable as well. You know, another theory that I have too is single family homes that have the ability to create added rental income opportunity. I know it's something that I preach a lot and I have hundreds of sales. I really advocate for this with my clients if they can squeeze it, you know, qualify for it. So that way you can offset your income either with family members or tenants. And then you have more, you know, flexibility in the future of building up. So condos, you can't do that as much. But I do know that the condo sales are going to have longer days on market. And that one's pretty obvious. We have more inventory in condos, longer days on market, and they're not selling crazy above asking price or barely above asking price, if ever. And that's, you know, because of the condo insurance issue I think we're having with hurricane. So I think once the state maybe steps in and adds gap insurance, that might start to level out in the future. But right now, there's just a lot of uncertainty in that space.
Uncertainty is the word. You know, I'm curious what we've heard from Heidi about what's going on with the vacation rentals, and that's going to be massively disruptive. That's really going to be interesting to kind of see how that's going to happen. I think Heidi, here's my guess. My guess is this is going to be a classic situation of what's called bootleggers and Baptists. That's an economics term, actually. And what you're going to have is teaming up between the hotels who've got the big money and the people who want to buy homes, or people want or homeowners. Those two teams are going to team up and be the power against the vacation rental folks who are not as well organized, don't have the economic thing, and don't have the moral thing at this time in Maui, because this time in Maui people want to have homes. My guess is that they're going to be on the losing side now. It's not going to be a total wipeout or whatever, but I think vacation rentals on Maui is going to be on the losing side because of that alliance, the alliance of the big hotels who are going to do really well, and the folks who want housing, who have the moral thing. Dylan, you know, what do you think is going to go on? Any kind of predictions or whatever is going to happen with now that there's a change in the law of that counties have more power for short-term vacation rentals? What do you think is going to happen? Any idea, any forecast, guesses you want to make about what might be happening on the Big Island?
I think the important clarification, right, is there's a lot of misunderstanding about this. Is the state law is simply a mechanism to empower counties to further restrict vacation rentals in apartment zoned areas. So it's simply the ability to do something, and so the counties still have to act like Heidi said, that they're going to have to put these county ordinances through the planning commissions, the county council. There's going to be huge meetings, huge testimony, and so what the final outcome is going to be, we're not really sure about. But what I'm concerned about is, and we saw this after the fires, especially in Maui, and obviously during the COVID timeframes, is if people don't come, the economy suffers dramatically. I mean, people lose their jobs, businesses shut down, and the problem definitely on the Big Island in Maui and Kauai, not so much on Oahu, but Oahu definitely deals with this too, is that we don't have enough hotel rooms. The amount of demand of people who want to come here exceeds the amount of hotel rooms that we have, and hotel rooms are ridiculously expensive. I mean, I spent 2 days over in Oahu, and it was like almost $1,000 for, you know, after all the taxes and everything else, for 2 nights in a hotel room that was not spectacular and had a view of the parking lot across the street. I mean, it was not something that you know, I would do again if I didn't have to be there for a business purpose. I mean, I would not voluntarily spend that kind of money. And if we empower the hotels to continue to jack rates up, I mean, sooner or later people are going to stop coming. I mean, the world is much flatter now. You can go to Indonesia, you can go to the Philippines, you can go to Bali, you can go to all kinds of different places. Mexico is a lot safer than it used to be, and you can spend that money and have a much more enjoyable vacation for a lot less cost. And so I think that's the bigger issue here, is that these things definitely will pass. On Maui, it'll definitely pass. And then 12 months later, when unemployment is 25% and, you know, half the businesses have shut down on the island, then what's going to happen? I mean, they're going to really have to figure stuff out. So there's always a consequence, like we always talked about with these things, but I think nobody's talking about that. And a lot of people who are advocating for these restrictions are also advocating for them to lose their job, because they're probably working in some service industry job that is supported by tourists coming here and staying in these vacation rentals. So There's a lot to consider, but I mean, that's to me the bigger concern is the huge economic impact when we cut off people being able to come here.
Unintended consequences. Consequences. There will be, and because they're unintended, we don't know what they're going to be. But yeah, it's going to be something.
And you know, and I have the most like innovative solution to all of this, right? Which never gets talked about. Let's just build more houses. Like, why don't we just
No,
build more
we can't
houses?
do that. We
Like,
can't
why don't we do
build
that?
more
Like, I mean, Maui's got tons of room. Big Island's got tons of room. Oahu separate issue. I mean, but Oahu's building high rises. But I mean, why doesn't the county get their stuff together and invest in some infrastructure and build some damn houses, and then we would solve all our problems. So
Dylan. We know we can't build more houses. We don't want more houses.
But we
just
can
want
build
lower
more
price.
houses. They just need to stop with the permitting department being an absolute like third world country system.
that's crazy.
Because
Yeah,
people will build if the DPP department was remotely reasonable on timelines. I mean, we're looking, if you're by the water, anywhere by the water, and you have a permit, or if you have construction that's over 500,000, you're looking at 5 years. If you're in an SMA, which is special management area, if you're looking at oceanfront, anything near the water, 5 years if it's over $500,000 in renovation costs. If it's new build, same thing, 5 years. It's ridiculous. And it would be interesting to see your guys' thoughts, because I know Dylan, Peter, you guys are more in politics than us, but the DPP stating that they're working on some type of digital processing that should take this permitting down from 6 to 12 months for just a basic permit. That's not what we just talked about, SMA or new build or 500,000 or above. It still takes 6 to 12 months if you're lucky. Some of my investors have been in it for 18 months plus on just a basic reno. And they're saying that they're going to come up with a new system that should reduce that down to 6 to 8 weeks. And they've been saying that for a long time now. I don't know if you guys have any insight on that, if you think it's actually going to happen.
I'll share a little bit of insight. I worked for a Honolulu County councilman. How long ago was that? Like 14 years ago or something like that. Now it's a long time ago, yeah. Yep. But who was a huge advocate of streamlining the DPP process. And what we found was it's very, very simple. It's not about a system. It's not about a process. It's you cannot lose any union jobs. And if anything that you do threatens a union job, they will push back in a crazy way. They will put tons of money behind getting you unelected. And that's what it comes down to, is those departments are full of union workers, government union workers, and their number one priority is not getting permits processed. They're keeping their jobs and continuing to get their 3 or 4% raises every year. And so that's the bigger political issue, is that you're never going to get anything through the county council, where some of the largest contributors to those campaigns and the super PACs that help get them elected are backed by government worker unions. So that's the bigger issue.
It is a big, complex web with a lot of competing interests. It is going to be all over the place. You know, I don't want to get too wound up on this, but I think it's important because we talk about real estate. And by the way, Alex Martin is recommending and buy helicopters. Alex, can you expand on that? What do you mean by and buy helicopters?
That was from the last show. And instead of buying rail, we could have just bought everybody a helicopter.
Oh yeah, right? That's right. The rail line. That's right. Buy
That's
helicopters free. There you go.
You do the math. Yeah.
There you go. If you did that, thanks. Well, I'm glad that Alex has a better memory of the show than I do myself. So thanks, Alex. I really appreciate that.
Build houses and buy helicopters. That's a solution.
Build houses and buy helicopters. Yes, yeah. Yes. And the other Alex says everyone needs to come to agreement and help economy and community. Yeah, they do, but they don't, because there's competing interests. One side here, Alex. Here's the deal. There's the people who own homes do not want more homes. They don't. And count me as one of them, just to give you the example. I don't want more homes. I want less homes. You know why I want less homes? Because my home price goes up. I don't want more development, not in my backyard. Let me just be really honest.
We're on Oahu. That's different, because Oahu is already oversaturated. I don't think our roads could handle more, even if we have space, but we don't have the road space. And then you're looking at eminent domain to take over people's existing properties and boundary lines. And that's the other reason too. Like when it comes to oceanfront, I have the most stunning oceanfront home. It is beyond a perfect price. And the state does not want and does not allow the homeowner to do anything to protect their house from erosion or from the North Shore waves, because they want that land to expand on their beach, their public property, and then also they want the house so that they can create wider roads, and because the roads are going to experience erosions here too shortly. So we can't take more houses here on Oahu, to be honest.
Exactly, Ashley. Exactly. Please, no more development, no more housing on Oahu. Please stop all new housing. I completely agree.
Big Island.
Completely. Joan, Auntie Joan, who lives in Kaka'ako, she said they just finished a 42-story high rise and there are more going up every day. Joan, you should have been there 10 years ago, man. I mean, every time we drive through Kaka'ako, it's like, what the hell is this? But you know what? On one hand, I would also say that in a way is the right way to do it. If you're going to build more housing, build it in a highly dense urban area like Kaka'ako, stuff everybody all together where theoretically it's near the work, so you don't have to drive that far. That's the place where there should be high density, and there is an increasingly high density. But I'm with Ashley. I don't want any more housing. I don't want any more housing at all. No, anyway, I'm dramatizing, right? I hope you all understand that I'm kind of dramatizing, but it's just it's to your point, Alex. That people don't come to agreement because there's competing interests, right? That's the whole issue.
My other half's grandmother lived in the very first development in Hawaii Kai by the former fish pond and wetlands area. It was developed in the 60s, and it was the first strip of houses, and they had that house at the very end. And he's just like an old grumpy man all the time. He's just like, it's not what it used to be. This isn't what it used to look like. Like back in my day, back when I was a kid, I was like, you're only 40. And just that much has changed in that much time in like Hawaii Kai. And he gets visibly angry when we go downtown. He's like, this shop used to be here and now it's another like boutique. This like, they need to go. I'm like, where are they going to go? And he's like, Big Island. I don't know.
But I'm sure he's at the same time. I will bet a large amount of money that your other half is very, very happy about Costco being here. He loves Costco.
Who doesn't love Costco? I mean,
There you
literally,
go.
it's a criteria. We talk about our properties and their distance from Costco.
Oh gosh. Okay. Good. Hey. Listen. We need to move on over here. We're having too much fun. Does anybody want to jump in with a comment? Heidi or Dylan, go ahead and jump in. I'm gonna move on.
I just wanted to add that
Yes.
there's kind of a misconception that if this proposal passes, there would be no more vacation rentals on Maui, because there still are lots of vacation rentals in hotel zoned areas, in the Depili Bay Civic Improvement District and B2 zoning. So there still would be vacation rental condos, but the majority of them are in apartment zoned areas, and they've been legal vacation rentals for 40, 50 years. And then this would be a proposal to change that. And yeah, the effects on the local economy are unknown and definitely of a concern, because most of the jobs in West Maui are supported from visitors who are staying in these vacation rentals. Property management companies, restaurants, cleaning companies, landscape companies. I mean, anyway, so we'll see what happens. It's dynamic and changing over here.
Well said, Heidi. I mean, it's going to be a big one. It's going to be really, really, really. I think Maui is going to be. I think my other guess here is that Maui is going to be the stuff of economic analysis for decades to come. For decades to come, they're going to be economically analyzing what went on with Maui, with the fires and the government intervention and all the competing things to try to, with all the best intentions, right? The road to hell is paved with good intentions, all the good intentions, and kind of what is going to turn out. It's going to be very, very, very interesting. Very interesting. Tim Kim kicks in. Hey, there are so many illegal short-term rentals on Oahu because the Department of Planning and Permitting doesn't have the staff to enforce the current laws. So they need to do more than just make new laws. They need to fund the enforcement. They have the staff, but you know what? They don't want to enforce it. They don't want to enforce it. And I have a firsthand experience with that. We had a short-term, back when I was a chair on the neighborhood board, we had a short-term rental that was blatantly violating the law and everybody knew it. And they had racked up $300,000 in fines, $300,000. And the Department of Permitting, the DPP, Department of Permitting and Planning, they negotiated a deal. And instead of $300,000, they find them for $10,000. And they shut down that vacation rental. They sold it and they opened up a new one right next door and did the same exact thing. Because, hey, for 10 grand, it's a deal. It's a deal. So you tell me what's going on with that one, Tim Kim. And Auntie Joan, does anyone remember when the Ilokai Hotel was the tallest building on Oahu? Hey, there's the Aloha Tower was once the tallest building on Oahu, Auntie Joan. That was before my time. But yes. Empty nesters, hey, I'm appreciating this real talk about going on in Hawaii, all the islands. Would love to hear more of this. Well, empty nesters, give us your question. What do you want to know? What should we talk about? It's up to you. This is your show, not ours. Your show, not ours. Okay. You know what? Let's do this. Why don't we? I got some questions, but I'm not sure exactly how we're going to go on the time. Why don't we get into one of my favorite segments here, our diamonds and deals. Let's talk about the kind of properties that you guys would like to kind of show us and highlight. And when I first saw this picture, Heidi, I thought is this like a surf shop or something? Is this like a retail store? What on earth is this, Heidi?
So this is a 2-acre property in Haiku. It's being marketed as more fun per square foot than any other property on Maui. And it's basically like buying your own mini resort on 2 acres. There's a free-form pool with a water slide, jumping rocks, which I'm not really sure what that means, a sauna, outdoor shower, fire pit, tiki bar. There's a little fitness, yoga, meditation area. There's a pool table, wraparound lanai, really cool tropical views. And it's out in Haiku, which is kind of a remote area. And it looks like an awesome party house or a place to invite all your friends and have a great time.
Man, I mean, that is so beautifully staged. The lighting that interior lighting is like out of this world, the way they've got the lights under the surfboards and kind of strategically placed. And that is, I think that's one of the coolest properties, Heidi. I mean, I can't remember every property that we they're all like amazing, but this one really, really sticks out. Really, really sticks out. Cool. Thank you for sharing. Who wants this one?
At night, it's lit up like Vegas with like pink and green and blue lights. It's pretty cool.
What a show house, right? What a show house. My goodness. I'd love to know the story of like who's the current owner or the previous owner or whatever, and what did they do with it, et cetera, et cetera. That'd be kind of fun just to kind of know the backgrounds, because that is, like I said, it looks like a resort. It looks like a resort. That's not a house that I'm looking at in front of me. That looks like, a surf shop. So interesting. Thanks, Heidi. Thanks. We can all dream. Right. But, for 3.4 million, I mean, yeah, it's out of my price range, but, 2 acres with an incredible home. It's a deal. Okay. What's next? Kaneohe. What's this? Wow. Cool. What's this, Ashley?
So I really like this home, and there's been a couple times that I almost had a buyer for it, and I thought I would share it with you guys. I've been thinking about it for pretty much every show. It's a 6-bedroom, 5-bathroom. It comes with 2 structures. You have the main structure, which is in the top right photo. The home is a bit underwhelming, but it's still really cool. And it's got this large lap pool. And then everything is really robust. It doesn't really showcase it and give it, it does not show nearly as well as it does in person. But this home and the infrastructure around it is incredibly phenomenal. It's like it's its own inner city. It's total of just under 40 acres, which is very uncommon on Oahu. Talk about space, land, not having enough of it here. This is a one-of-a-kind size lot for what you get. And there's like a water hydrant system everywhere. There's millions of dollars worth of drainage, curbing. It's got actual state size level curbing going up the property. And then in this part of Kaneohe, you have a lot of rain because it's right up against the Ko'olau Mountain. So a lot of times you have on these lots like a lot of mosquito issues, a lot of flooding, there's a lot of drainage issues. and they don't experience that here like at all. There's massive storm drains and storm drain system going throughout the property. You have all of these clearings, like the 4.8 acres in the bottom right corner, that's already cleared for like say events or parties. You've got an orchard down below that you can't even see. In the half acre above the cottage at the very beginning, it's got like a big gate with access and you drive up it. It's the guy who originally purchased this. He purchased it as almost like a bunker. It was during right before COVID, around COVID, and he wanted to create a doomsday essentially location where he could have his own mini fortress. And the thing is just phenomenal, and the price is negotiable. I'm not listing this. This is listed by a friend of mine. Sorry, Stephanie. She's with Remax, not Max. That's supposed to be just Remax. And this is her listing.
I was going to ask you, at first I thought this was a typo, 39.6 acres. I haven't, now I would think that I guess with our development issues here, actually be out of the question to even consider, is this even a possibility to kind of be redeveloped? Could you buy this 30, can you buy these 39 acres and then, make it, put a small development on there of exclusive homes on, in Kaneohe? I'm sure you must have thought about that, but it's probably impossible these days.
So yes, you can. So the preservation land, you cannot. So there's a portion of the home that's actually preservation that you cannot touch. And then some of the land, you can do a small cluster development. That is certainly possible. The amount of acreage that you can do that is, let's see here. I have to pull it up. But yeah, some of it you can develop, and all you need to do is put in a septic system, and then you can put in additional systems if you are able to further CPR it, which you could in theory CPR it. You can CPR for ag every 2 acres. You can CPR. So you could take a portion of this and you could do that. You could do just a cluster development and not CPR this lot at all. You have a lot of options. You can host events here. There's so much parking. You can literally come here and park on this half acre by the orchid. And we toured this whole property via golf cart. So you can have like a golf cart system. And then the house is a chef level, kitchen. So you could, again, it kind of goes with that whole event space. That's not what they used it for, but it would suit it for sure. There's a lot of things that you could do.
Interesting. Actually, when I confirmed the 39 acres, I thought, hey, is this who was the Dylan? Who was the senator? Senator Fong? Some senator had like a huge resort-like thing on the windward side. Senator Fong, I think it's Senator Fong's estate. Fong or Hong? I forget.
No, it's Hiram Fong.
Hiram Fong. Okay, Senator Fong. Remember Hiram Fong's estate? It was like almost a tourist attraction on the windward side. Remember that? I don't know who sold that. Before, yeah.
So this house it's the option to completely live off the grid, because like I said, it has the option to be a doomsday location. 180 degrees of this bay. I'm talking, when you go up there, you literally feel like you are just looking over a kingdom. It is so phenomenal, the views that you have up against this like backdrop of these really powerful mountains. 24 of the acres are preservation, which is perfect for hiking, horseback riding, farming, anything you want. There's even a space for a helipad, just right there in the yard. They actually did a video with a helicopter coming down and landing on it as well. And then you've got, how many acres? 16 acres of the ag land, which every 2 acres you can CPR, and then 7 acres of just flat cleared land already.
Wow. Hey, thanks, Josephine. Thanks for chiming in there. You the first time I'm seeing you there. Yes, Hiram Fong. Thank you. Yeah. I was Fong or Hong, I guess, couldn't remember. Yeah, it was almost like it was a tourist attraction, Hiram Fong's estate. And it was on the windward side, a lot of acres, huge thing. And, people, it was a visitor attraction. I remember that. It was a long time ago. Anyway, hey, and then Tim Kim comes back. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. This is the Department of Planning and Permitting thing we were talking about earlier. He says, we rented an Airbnb on Oahu and the landlords falsified his address to be in the resort zone so he could be exempt from fees. Contacted the DPP and they just ran me in circles. Yeah. And you're lucky you even got through to somebody at the DPP to run you around in circles. You normally you don't even get through to that. You don't even get that far. So you got further than most of us. Dylan, your turn. What are we looking at over here? Great, great collection these days.
This is just a super cool listing that's current. just came on the market, but nice, luxury home. I just always like to highlight, if you're looking at this type of home, that what you get on the Big Island versus the other islands. I mean, this is built in 2016, so relatively new, modern design, modern finishes. It's got a little small pool, which is one of those, like, I call it like a treadmill pool, right? So you can like swim in place because it's got the jets that come at you, so you can adjust how fast you want to swim, so you can swim long distance in a small area. It's got a 3-car garage, which is something that I'm seeing people are asking for more often now. So that's not a normal thing that we see a lot of in a lot of homes, is the design of a 3-car garage, because I think you can do, like, you put a car in there and a gym or whatever you want. But the cool thing about these developments on the west side, there's several of them, is they're agricultural zone developments. So you get an acre of land too. So very low density. You have this is beautifully landscaped. There's about a half acre of coffee on it. So if you wanted to right now it's currently caretaken by another party, but if you wanted to grow your own coffee and drink your own coffee, you could do that. But super cool spot. And then killer views. You can kind of see from the kitchen and living room pictures, just killer views of the Kona coast. This is kind of right above where the airport is. You can see planes coming in and out, and the rest of and sunsets year round. So great value, in terms of what you can get here. Almost 3,000 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 3 baths, and an office, and an acre, and 3-car garage, photovoltaic, all that stuff for under $3 million. It's pretty amazing. Still on mute.
The competition for amazing homes is getting fierce, because I got it. Dylan, you usually win. Dylan usually wins the contest on value. But I got to tell you, dude, if I had to compare, we're all like honest engines here, right? So if I had to compare this for 3.4, 5-bedroom on 2 acres versus this for 2.8. I don't know, Dylan. This is pretty damn close, man. I mean, Ashley's like next level with 14 million. That's just like, okay, I can't even comprehend that. That's negotiable.
Ashley will get you an amazing deal. Reach out to Ashley; she'll get you an amazing deal.
There you go. But great combination of homes here, gang. Those were really fun. Great job, everybody. Hey, gang, listen. If you've got a question, you need to ask us now. If there's anything that you want to know, because we're going to be coming to a close. We're going to go through. I think we're going to close the show maybe a few minutes early than we normally do. We're going to go into our closing thoughts and motivational thoughts. So, you got a question, you better pop it in now, because we are speeding by. We are speeding by. In fact, let's just kind of start to round all this up. It's been a great Friday, wonderful show again. Thanks to all you folks who have been here with us, made it a part of us. Love the hearts. Love the hearts and the thumbs up. So let's talk about closing thoughts. And this is where we talk about closing motivational thoughts, things that you think about that motivate you and motivate others. If you've got something to share, please share it with us. Let's start with Ashley. Give us yours. And what does it mean to you?
So that event that Dylan and I went to, there was a lot of amazing speakers, Dylan being one of them. And there was just great nuggets. And this one, it resonated with me. Extreme ownership means understanding everything a result of something you did or failed to do. I resonate with that so much, because there's never an excuse. We all have different seasons in our life, and our month, our year, our day. But at the end of the day, everything is a result of your own actions. So I'm trying to teach my daughter this as well.
Ownership is I think that is one of the biggest things. So, I think, because if you own it, then you have power over it. If you don't own it, you have no power. You can't get anything done if you don't own it. Yeah. And it's a big deal. Hey, I want to give a huge mahalo nui to Sue. Thank you, Sue, who reminds us happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there. So, Ashley, happy Mother's Day to you and your daughter. Dylan, please make sure you send your happy Mother's Day both to your mom, who I've met online, who's awesome, and to your wife, Monica, who I've met many times, especially in the past and recently. And happy Mother's Day to my wife, who's an amazing mom, and happy Mother's Day to my mom. Anybody else want to give a shout out to any of their favorite mom figures? Anybody? Ashley? Yeah. So, thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Mom, for having me. Thanks for having me, Mom. Really, really appreciate it. A quick one from Tim. Hey, I heard the Skyline getting 10K passengers versus once. Oh, Tim, we talked about this. Don't get me started. This was play the last show. Tim, go back and play the last show. We talked about this. It's crazy. How are people getting to the stations? Do they have parking lots or people? It's a mess. Tim, the simple answer is it's a big mess. And it's going to be a disaster, a bigger disaster than we ever could possibly imagine. That's my prediction. But thanks back to Auntie Joan, who has come back to us with comparison is the thief of joy. Man, that is a good one. That is a great one, Auntie Joan. Thank you. Amen to that. Comparison is a thief of joy. Never, 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 ever, ever, ever compare yourself to anyone else. Ever. That is the worst thing you could ever do. Guaranteed depression. Guaranteed depression when you compare yourself to others. The only comparison that you can and should make is to yourself. Compare yourself to yourself, let's say last year. How have you come along since the last year or the last 6 months or whatever? Compare yourself to you. That's the only comparison that you can and should make, in my opinion. All right. Thank you, Auntie Joan. Anybody else got anything that they want to share? Please pop it in. Who's next here? Heidi, what's yours and what does it mean to you?
Your perspective can either be your prison or your passport. This is a reminder to check your perspective, and sometimes the way that you think about a situation can just make a huge difference. So, I mean, this can apply in life. It can apply if you are a homeowner, a home buyer, a home seller, or a real estate agent. I mean, in the face of a lot of change, it's somehow how you think about things and what you choose to do, because we always have choices. Perspective is just, it's so important.
It's everything. It's that same ownership theme, right? I mean, the perspective is you're taking an ownership of your view of the situation, and you could either see it as a tragedy or a comedy or what have you. So yeah, well said. Great motivational thoughts, gang. Really, really great.
Tony Robbins talks about it related to this. A great way to frame or language to use to frame this is I get to do something versus I have to do something, right? I have to go shopping versus I get to go shopping. I have to go to work versus I get to go to work. And it changes your perspective, because if you have to do something, it implies somebody else is making you do it, right? Or some external force is making you do it, versus if you get to do it, it's because you have the freedom and it's a privilege to be able to do that thing. And it's a really great way that if you train your brain to say, I get to do things versus I have to do things, it changes your perspective on that.
Yeah. There was Dylan, on that note, there was another similar perspective that I had been taught, which is to go around the world, to live your life as if every single thing is happening because you're choosing. Like, sun, you just stay right there, sun. Just keep shining. Thank you, sun, for shining in this desk right here that I'm on. You just kind of stay right there, and I'm going to ask you to stay there at my discretion. And I'm going to pick up this cup right now, and I'm going to drink out of this cup because that's what I'm choosing to do. And everything is basically a result of your choices. And I thought that was kind of a really fun way to look at the world. Everything you choose, everything to be just the way it is, that way that you want it. So I'm choosing to go shopping. I'm going to go shopping. Hey, thanks, Tim Kim. Aloha, awina la. All right. Well, that's kind of nice Hawaiian kind of stuff to kind of be throwing at us. We really appreciate that. Let's see. Is everybody gone? Is it my turn now? Because there's one.
Although I skipped.
Who did I skip?
I took over. I took over, but yeah, I didn't go.
All right. Okay. All right. Oh, well, you know why? I didn't see your name there. I didn't see your name there. So I'm like, whose is this? Is this yours?
Did I delete it? Yeah.
Okay, good. What is it, and what does it mean to you?
No, well, this is from the conference also. I just thought it was a great, again, perspective, right? Being humble doesn't mean thinking less of yourself. It means thinking of yourself less. So I think
that's so weird. I almost chose that one, Dylan. Almost, because I loved that one too. And that right at the last minute, I switched. That's too funny.
Humility, man. I mean, I think one of the greatest, I'd love to kind of talk to a sociologist or a psychiatrist or like a Jordan Peterson, but I think humility is like one of the most challenging things that exist, because of course, there's a great old country song that I used to play in the bar with my parents. It says, "Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way." And that was like the theme of the whole song. Right. And because, I don't know about you guys. Maybe I'm just revealing something. We all think we're fantastic, right? We all, we are the center of our own universe, right? And so, being humble is truly, I think, I think the funniest folks are the ones who who brag about being humble. That's my favorite. Those are my favorites. Like my favorite one is the people who post on social media. I am humbled to be given this award.
Get this honor.
I'm humbled to be given this honor. I'm honored and humbled to be chosen to be number one. I'm humbled to be number one in sales. I'm so humbled. I just love those. Those are my favorites. Absolutely my favorites. Hopefully none of you are guilty of those. Hopefully not. So
I was just on, on this note, I was just having a little coaching session, with somebody who's looking for business advice. And I was telling them how the most valuable people in business, to me, business partners that you can possibly have are the ones who will tell you you're wrong, or that there's a better way to do something, or that will be critical of what you're doing. Because one of the biggest challenges, and I'm sure you can relate to this, Peter, is once you're perceived as being successful, nobody ever wants to tell you that you're doing anything wrong, because they feel like you're going to be offended, or you're not going to like them anymore, or you're not going to want to do business with them. And the circle of people as you move up the ladder that will be honest with you about and just give you honest, critical advice gets smaller and smaller and smaller, and they become more and more valuable. So if you want to be valuable to somebody, and if they are offended and they don't like you for giving them that advice, then they're probably not somebody you want to be in business with or have a relationship anyways. So it's a good filter.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. And I've been on multiple sides of that matrix, both on the receiving end and also on the sending end. And I'll tell you this: it is actually hard to be critical of someone that you work with or someone that you respect, or like when I have clients, like a lot of time it's like, I'm saying to myself, like, man, this is a big freaking mistake that they are making. But I'm not going to waste my time trying to tell them, because this guy's on a tear, and all I'm going to do is screw myself up if I tell him how crappy this is. It's just going to make it worse. I'm now the enemy, right? So it's a very, very, and that's why I think a lot of people, Dylan, who have those who have a close circle of friends or family, like the greatest asset, I always know, that teams will succeed when I see a husband and wife combination, a mom and pop shop. Those are the best, because the wife is beating the crap out of that guy when he comes home at night. And that is like the greatest gift, right? That is like the greatest gift of all. So like Dylan, when I know that
charged.
Right? When you and your wife work together, it's like, I know, because man, I credit absolutely the success of our business because my wife has been a fundamental part of it, and never hesitated to beat the crap out of me when I came home.
She's the only one that's never going to think you're special. So
exactly, ever, no matter what.
Or remind you that
honey,
you're not.
My ex used to say that you're the only one who doesn't act like I'm this and that, and I was like, you need that.
Yeah, exactly. Here, Tim Kim's telling you, most businesses don't want to hear what they need to hear. Yes, I mean, because we're perfect. It's good. And that's why a lot of businesses go bankrupt, because they fail. They don't want to acknowledge the reality of the situation, or they pray or God knows what. Yeah, that's funny. Like, hey, honey, I invented a new technology that's revolutionizing the world. I've saved millions of lives. I've done these incredible things. I've saved tons of businesses. Yeah. So what? Wash the dishes. The sink is full. Get your chores done. Trash has got to go out. Go take the trash out. Oh yeah. By the way, paint the house this weekend. Okay. So, clean out the toilets. Okay. My turn with a little dose of more of the reality here. I've got Proverbs, as you know. This is my thing here. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows worthless pursuits will have plenty of poverty. Very, very, very simple advice from 3,000 years ago, fans. Don't do stupid stuff. Make sure you till the land as opposed to worthless pursuits. Don't do worthless pursuits. As simple as that sounds, that's what it is. All right. I think that's it, folks. We had a great show today. Thank you all. You guys were fantastic. We're going to see you again in 2 weeks. Thank you all for being here. We really, really appreciate it. Why don't we kind of say, let's give our Mother's Day weekend aloha counterclockwise. Heidi, Dylan, and then Ashley.
Aloha, everybody. Happy Mother's Day. Have a great weekend. Take care.
Yes, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there. Have an awesome weekend.
Happy Mother's Day, everyone. Aloha.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I will definitely be giving you a call very, very soon before Mother's Day because we can't make phone calls on Mother's Day in Hawaii. At least that was the case 40 years ago. And Alex says, mahalo for great information. As always, have a rested weekend. Happy Mother's Day, everyone. All right, folks, have a happy Mother's Day. Have a great weekend. Aloha. See you in 2 weeks.